Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
I'm Lindsey Deluce.
And I'm Kelsey McEwen.
Welcome to CTV Your Morning, the podcast.
Today on the podcast, we sit down with director Paul Feig, whose new movie, The Housemaid, you may have heard of it, has become a huge hit at the box office. And speaking of blockbusters, James Cameron joins us to talk about the third installment in the Avatar series, Avatar: Fire and Ash.
We're also bringing you expert advice for a career check-in to get your professional goals on track this year.
And remember, start your day with us live weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern and 7 to 10 a.m. Atlantic on CTV, CTV News Channel, and Crave.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening today. We have a lot of great conversations on this episode. We know January, it's often a time for reflection and change. So we've got some expert tips on how to set goals in your professional life.
We also have an in-depth look at the stakes of the global quantum race and why the consequences could be dire if Canada allows itself to fall further behind. It's a really fascinating conversation with our producer, Michael Hiscock, who worked on the segment. Stay tuned for that.
How about these two big names? Guys, you ready to kick things off? Two huge movies at the box office right now are The Housemaid and Avatar: Fire and Ash. Teddy sat down with legendary director James Cameron to chat all about the latest Avatar installment. That conversation is coming up in minutes, but first, it is the best-selling book that has been turned into a box office smash, and the sequel has just been greenlit.
Hi, Millie.
Hi, Mrs. Winchester.
Oh, please call me Nina. Come on in. So why do you want this job?
I just really enjoy being a housemaid.
It's a psychological thriller set in a stunning house where a seemingly perfect couple need a little extra help keeping things running at home. But here's the thing, things go off the rails really fast. Audiences are along for the ride, trying to sort out the next twist. Our next guest knows all the twists and turns. Paul Feig is here and joining us in studio. Good morning.
Hello, I'm the spoiler. I'm a walking spoiler alert.
And there's so many things that we could spoil, but we're not going to do that for everybody because
exactly.
it is a psychological thriller.
That's right.
But I have to say, I mean, you're known as the comedy guy, right? So what made you sign on to do this one?
I think all my movies are comedies. Some are just really, really dark. I love the story. It's based on this great book by Frida McFadden, and it's such a popular. It's been on the bestseller list for 2 years now, and it's just a great story. It's really got so many twists and turns. It's my favorite thing in the world.
It is so great, and I was saying that to you right when we met, when we sat down. This type and this genre is so enthralling and interesting, and so are these characters. So let's talk about bringing a book to life, because is that super challenging, or is it easier because you have all these sort of descriptive touch points in the pages?
You've got the structure, which is great, and the characters and everything there, but when a book is this popular, it's intimidating because you want to make sure that the readers, the fans of the book, get what they want, but then also people who haven't seen the movie get it too. But we were able to add a whole new ending, extra ending on this that book readers so far have really loved.
Fantastic. There are certain scenes, I have to say, where I had my hands over my face, but it was one of those, like, I was still watching because I needed to see it.
Right.
But I also was horrified in the best way possible.
Good.
I was going to say, is that the
Mission
goal?
accomplished.
Is that the goal?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, with a thriller, anything. I mean, comedy, thrillers, horror movies, anything, you want the audience to be engaged and to, participate. And that's why I love having movies in theaters. My last 3 movies were for streamers, which is fine, but I make movies for audiences, and I want people going back to cinemas to have that group experience.
Do you ever go in and sit and watch with other people? Do you do that for a period of time, or just sort of a one-stop shop?
No, I do it all the time. When we're putting the movies together, we do test screenings as we're editing, just to see what works, what doesn't. So my editor and I sit in the middle of the audience. We watch everybody listen. You have to. It's like a chef who won't eat his own food. Right. I don't trust them, so I want to be in there with. And then when the movie's finished, it's fun to be in there with.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, after it's all done, it's out in the wild.
Oh yeah. I mean, we have a premiere tonight, and I'm going to be sitting in the audience with the whole audience. Yeah.
When you're watching it, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about, I remember that day when we shot that? Are you thinking about, oh, this angle is awesome, or what?
Anything for me is just enjoying, knowing, watching people see it for the first time, and like when I know something good is coming up, I'm like looking around like, hey, here, let's watch them jump or scream or do whatever they do. So it's a blast.
That must be fun.
I was a stand-up comedian in my past, so I like being with an audience.
Yeah, fantastic. I have to say, Amanda Seyfried's performance, for me, watching was a standout. I mean, she is brilliant in this. She's so talented at playing, a woman who seems sweet one minute and then like completely unhinged the next.
Yeah.
I've heard that part of the direction to her was to, you know, stare at Sydney Sweeney's character for a period of time before delivering a line. Is that true?
Yeah, there's an early scene where after Nina has kind of a breakdown in the kitchen, the next time she comes up behind her, it's just like, she's just unnerving. So it was like, we played it a bunch of different ways, and I was letting Amanda, like, just stare really long, because there's nothing more unnerving than somebody just, like, stares at you for a long time, and 100%. Then they respond. You're like, do you hate me? Am I weird? What's going on?
Yeah, we don't like those silences,
no,
do
exactly.
we? I mean, we look at your career, Paul. I mean, you, as you know, we talked about the fact that you've gone through so many genres. For anybody watching right now who would love to be a director, you know, love to get into the business, what would you say to them?
Well, I say now, literally start making things. With your phone, you have the highest quality camera available. Your computer has editing software. You can distribute it on TikTok or internet or wherever social media you want. So you can just start making things. Just make sure you make good things and don't put them out if they're not good. Show them other people and go like, is this okay? Like, don't put out something that's not good.
Yeah, be selective.
Yeah.
We are so thrilled that you're in studio with us today. Paul, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it.
It's an honor. Thank you so much.
So the Avatar franchise revolutionized filmmaking, and it's all thanks to legendary Canadian writer and director James Cameron. James was just 19 when he first had a dream about a bioluminescent forest. Years later, this led him to build technology that brought the world of Pandora to life, and of course created one of the most successful movie series of all time. Now the new film, Avatar, Fire and Ash, is continuing the saga, and I got to sit down in person with James. What a joy to return to the world of Pandora. And, you know, I want to talk about performances and the characters. But first off, obviously, part of what resonates with fans like me about Avatar is getting to visit this world of Pandora. And I know you've spoken before about having initial visions of it, of the bioluminescent forest.
When you were way back.
When you were 19. It's incredible. So what was it like for you to return to Pandora? And what kind of different side of the world did you want to show us this time around?
I don't think I ever left, to tell you the truth.
This world goes much deeper than you imagine.
So that's been a journey since really 2013, and it was just nonstop.
Yeah.
Because we wrote the sequels, we shot movie 2 and 3, untitled at the time. It was just kind of one big production. We did 18 months of performance capture, and then we did over a year of live action photography.
Even though Pandora is this fantastical world and you help realize it through digital technology, the performances and the stories that you tell are very real, and you tell them through performance capture.
But Ava did not come.
Does it change your approach, or is it the same thing, you and an actor working through a part?
When you're shooting live action, half of your brain is on the actors and the performance, and the other half is on all the physical aspects of trying to do the shot. Dolly track, crane move, extras in the background, vehicles moving. It's all going to happen simultaneously into that image. In performance capture, I push all that stuff away from the acting process, and I just work directly with the actors. So my work as a director is much more focused on their performance. And I'm not talking about like for a few weeks. We're talking about, for the sequels, it was an 18-month process.
My team.
I let them roam freely through the scene and find what makes sense to them in their interpretation of the character. We always had time for performance and for perfecting the scene, and we never moved on to the next scene until everybody was happy.
With so much of your work, narratively, you look to the future. So I'm curious for your perspective on, you know, what do you think the future of movies, of filmmaking looks like?
I don't think anybody knows right now. You know, I mean, look, the trends aren't good. I think people are being more choosy about what they go to see.
Yep.
I think they're starting to associate the theatrical experience with a certain type of film, something maybe more spectacular, more adventure-oriented. Will we see more Dunes? Will we see more Wickeds? Will we see more Avatars? I like to hope so. I do optimistically believe that people will always want to go to a movie theater.
This morning, we are taking a look at the concept of ambition and how it evolves over different ages and stages of life. And we're doing it through the lens of a writer who says she's broken up with the concept. Emil Niazi is inviting readers into life after ambition, exploring the peaks and the valleys of how it's shown up in her life through her career path into marriage and motherhood. Emil Niazi is here in studio this morning. Great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So writing seems like it has been a source of comfort for you. As a child, you wrote letters to your future self to open. As a young adult, you took on writing gigs, whether they paid or not. And this is your first book. So how are you feeling now that it's out now?
I feel kind of crazy. I mean, it's strange to do something that's so insular and so personal, to like trove all of these memories, essentially in a darkened room by myself. And be very vulnerable because it's important, and then suddenly realize that people are going to read it and react to it. So I'm feeling excited, but also a little bit like, scared.
Have people close to you read the book?
No.
No.
I forbade them.
Really? Oh, so it's just right out there.
It's going to be right out there, yeah.
Okay, I love this. The book, it grapples with ambition and how it shows up in the various stages of our life. You write, I've been liberated by my ambition. I've been vilified for it, buried under it, and finally I've been freed from it. I think a lot of people look to ambition like it's a positive thing. And it can be, but hearing you say you're free from it, it gives a different tone to it. It makes me consider what ambition looks like for you now. So what is ambition right now for you?
I think right now for me, it is still a tool. It can be a very valuable tool. But rather than use that tool to find more and more and more outside of myself, to constantly be seeking out the better, I'm really using it to hone in on what I have and how I can enjoy that more. How enough can feel expansive and important and enough, you know? And that's so hard for a lot of people to accept, that there doesn't need to be more than what you have. And that if you can enjoy what you have, it feels like you've hit the jackpot.
It's this idea of rich is more than just the dollars in your bank account.
Yeah.
There's richness in so many aspects of life. But you're right, if you don't stop to say, I'm going to be intentional about this, you miss a lot of what's happening.
Yes, exactly. And I don't feel that when I was climbing the ladder and seeking more and wanting more money and wanting more promotions, and it would never felt like enough. Every time I had achieved the thing that I wanted to, I never stopped to appreciate it. All I could see was, okay, now what's step two? And that type of life was very exhausting, very lonely, and very empty. And even though I had the job and the family and all of the things that you think you're supposed to want, but I wasn't enjoying any of them.
You also share some really deeply personal and painful experiences in the book. You detail a relationship with an ex that turned violent, your experience with addiction. Why did you choose to include those moments as well as the joy?
I really thought it was important to highlight that I am a human being, that I have suffered many tragedies and had many faults, things that might make me not good enough, you know, to be in some of those spaces, so that people would realize we're all carrying these fictions when we go to work and when we're at home. And the disconnect between who we are and who we're pretending to be can often be exactly what brings that discomfort. It can be what drives the ambition, is I don't want to be that person that I was or that I am. I want to be someone bigger or better. And I wanted to bring my whole self to this book so that people can see that success is possible even if you've had hard moments, even if you've gone to the bottom and had to pick yourself back up, you can still have a beautiful, incredible life. They don't have to define you, but they're part of you, and it's important that I think we start to show each other who we really are.
There's a point in the book where you say, quote, I was a whisper at home, I was a whisper at work, a ghost at home. And I feel like that sentiment resonates so deeply, especially with working parents who are really trying to balance and grapple with the two worlds, being present at work, but also being present at home. So for anyone watching right now who's in that boat, for me sitting here staring at you, what do you say?
I think first, just naming that, right? Naming the truth that we are not superhuman, that we can't make both things work at their best all the time, and transparency. And I think that's, again, why I wanted to say all of that stuff, because the transparency sets you free to be able to tell your work, I am a parent. This is a huge part of my life, and it's actually what makes me good at my job. The fact that I can balance this makes me a better employee. And at home, I tell my kids all the time, it's important that mom does this because it's making me a better mom. It's making me more empathetic. It's making me more capable. And that has helped me so much. Just being honest about it all is transformative, I think.
Emil Niazi, thank you.
Thank you.
A reminder, the book is called Life After Ambition, a good enough memoir.
Okay, this may sound like a weird question, but here we go. Do you rub your feet together before going to sleep? Do you? You might not even realize you're doing it, but there is a name for this. It's called the cricketing technique, I believe, right? Cricketing technique. And it could be the answer to getting better sleep. Amanda Jewson, who is a sleep expert, is here to tell us more about it. Welcome back.
Hello.
I'm so weirded out that we're doing this because here's the thing. I've done this my whole life. And then 2 nights ago, I was like scrolling through Instagram, and it wasn't even your Instagram. And it was like, if you do this, it's called that. And I was like, what? There's a name for this? I thought it was a Lindsey thing. It is not. It's called cricketing. What is it?
Okay, so cricketing is when folks take their feet and they rub them together, kind of like this, to feel good to fall asleep, resembling a cricket without the noise, hopefully. And you rub them together, you fall asleep, and that's cricketing. That's it.
It was so wild to me. So you did a poll on your Instagram, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Asking people how often they do this. What did you discover?
Yeah, so I have, like you, this has been all over my social media. This has been in my news feed. How to cricket for better sleep. I asked people, hey, have you heard of this? About just over 50% had and tried it. About 50% hadn't, which is really interesting. What I found from our poll results, mostly in the DMs that I got, was mostly that people observed it happening in other people, or a few would say, hey, yeah, I've done this my whole life, kind of like you. It helps me fall asleep.
But I don't even think about it helping me fall asleep.
That's
I really
exactly
don't.
right.
I was just like, it's something I do. Just like how you take the position, like I always start on my stomach, and I'm not supposed to. Start on my stomach, and then when I'm really comfortable, I'll move to my side. It's just something I do.
Yes.
Why do people do this?
This is great. I love that you're talking about this because I feel like all of these articles and trends, they try to pick up on something that is already happening instinctually. So what you're describing is, hey, I've already done this my whole life. The people writing me say, I observe this in other people. We don't necessarily know we're doing it. I think what is happening is we're describing a self-soothing behavior. And actually, adults have a lot of them. There are a lot of adult thumb suckers who
I have a friend who's a thumb sucker.
Yes, it's so common.
That was brought out after drinks.
Yeah.
It was. And I was like,
Happy
you what?
New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. So that's a thing too.
Thumb sucking. A lot of people wrote me back that I don't rub my feet together, but I will rock or sway back and forth.
Right.
So these self-soothing techniques are physical. They discharge stress and anxiety, and they help us fall asleep. One important note, though, I want to be so careful. Rubbing your feet together is different than feeling a creepy, crawly sensation in your legs and constantly moving. That's restless leg syndrome that can be treated, and you should talk to your doctor about
That is, and that's a whole... Had that too, but when I was pregnant, that was a thing. Yeah, it was really, it's really hard to fall asleep with that.
It's very hard.
Okay,
but treatable.
And so this actually works, like this movement?
Well, what works is the self-soothing element of it. So I think it'll be hard for people to pick up rubbing their feet together if it's not already happening. What I'd love for people to do is think about you described your sleep dance, right? I go on my stomach.
That's right.
I do this, I do that. I bet we all do it. Now, I was thinking about mine. I'm a nuzzler. So I don't do this, a nuzzler. I grab a pillow and I'm nuzzling in all night. I need a pillow here, I need a pillow there.
Yeah.
That's my cricket. cricketing. I bet we all have certain versions of that. So lean into what's instinctual. It's probably going to work better.
Cricketing.
Cricketing.
I don't love the name, I'm not gonna lie.
It's kind of...
It doesn't sound soothing. It sounds like annoying.
It sounds like rough and harsh.
Yes, it does. But then when you actually think about it, they do this like all
night
the time.
long.
This was fascinating.
Yes.
Amanda, always good to see you.
And you, likewise.
Thanks so much.
You're listening to Your Morning, the podcast, where we bring you some of the best conversations from our show every week. You can join us live on CTV every weekday, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern, 7 to 10 a.m. Atlantic, on CTV CTV News Channel, and on Crave.
The new year has all of us reflecting on what's to come next, and this includes our jobs and our careers. Maybe your goal for 2026 is to land that dream promotion, or maybe you're switching careers entirely. Certified career strategist Chichi Abo says figuring all of this out starts with a career check-in. So she's checking in with me now. Great to have you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So how do you know when it's time or what to do if you're doing a career check-in? How do you know the timing?
The one thing I tell people to look at, there's a spectrum. When someone asks you, like, do you like your job? How's it going? And then you say, I like it. Or you say, it's just okay. Or you say, you don't like it at all. If you're in that just okay indifference phase, or you don't like it at all, that's a sign to do that check-in and figure out why. Either you can pivot towards liking it and figure out how to fix it, or if you're in that just okay phase, eventually you'll get to that I don't like it phase. And that's when things feel urgent. And that's when you start to feel disengaged and perhaps make career decisions that aren't right for you.
Yeah, so before you get to that point, almost be a little proactive.
Yes.
And think about it. So how do we start?
Yes.
Where do we start?
Yeah, so the best place to start, and if you're thinking about New Year's, January resolutions, use January as a time to check and reflect. Don't start your goals right away. So use the first few weeks of January to block some time off to think about what you want to do, what you've done the prior year, what worked well, what didn't, and what is exciting for you now. What do you want to learn? So start that process through clear reflection. And then eventually you could use that to build some goals.
I mean, that's such a great thing to do in so many aspects of your life, but especially your career. You don't have to wait for someone else to ask you. You can ask yourself those questions. And then once you've reflected, Chichi, how do you use this information to take steps forward, to create goals?
Yeah, so there's this keep, drop, grow framework, right, that I like to tell people to use. So keep is what worked out really well in terms of your strengths and your skills and projects that was exciting for you the prior year, right? Do you want to continue to do that in 2026? Drop. What got me off track? What didn't feel right? What did I fail in? Or what just didn't make me feel excited? Then you're going to think about, okay, maybe I should kind of take those things outside the picture. And then grow. So what do you want to be curious in? What is driving your interest, right? What do you want to learn more of? After you've reflected and written those down, you can make a decision to narrow it down and decide, like this is the direction I want to take.
I love this. So what actions can you take to achieve some of those goals, to be able to make progress on that?
Yeah. So one thing people do when it comes to resolutions is big, lofty goals or a lot of goals where they're just changing their life completely upside down. So I recommend start small, pick one direction, one skill to focus on, right? Like that's gonna be key. And then you're also gonna think about when you're moving forward, is it courses that I want to take? What are the different programs that exist? And also look at, do I want to start a side passion or personal project using the skills that I'm interested in, that I want to develop? Or do I want to ultimately figure out it's a new career direction, right? So it's about starting those small actions to get you there, but just stay away from building out multiple goals that just aren't sustainable. Small action will take you a long way. It's about progress, not perfection.
Oh, I love that. Progress, not perfection. Such a good reminder. Listen, there are people watching right now who may be considering switching careers or industries in 2026. What piece of advice do you have for them?
Yes, my piece of advice is when you're reflecting, do it first in a space where you feel comfortable, right? So I said earlier around reflection, how to do it and thinking about what you want. So whether you're comfortable typing notes on your laptop or journaling or doing a career vision board, either on Bristol board or digital. Do what feels comfortable for you, because that's going to feel energizing. And then once you do that in reflection, take stock of your skills that you have, right? Do a skills inventory, the strengths that work well for you, and then the strengths that you are curious about. And then from there, figure out what's transferable, right? If it's transferable to another industry, another career direction, you're not starting from bottom. You're starting from a place where you'll feel like all your years in another field have gone to waste. And lastly, find your community, right? Coffee chats, informational interviews, other people that in roles and careers that inspire you or that interest you, hear about their journey, hear about how they made the switch. And that's gonna be the best place to start.
I love that. I feel inspired by this conversation. Chi-Chi, this is such great information for all of our viewers. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yes, thank you for having me.
What does it take to win the world championship in Scrabble? Well, Canadian mathematician Adam Logan knows. He is the 2025 World Scrabble Champion. He beat one of the world's best Scrabble players, Nigel Richards, in the final at the November tournament in Ghana. Adam Logan is joining me this morning with more on his big win. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, firstly, congratulations. I know this is not the first time you've taken home this title. You won this title, what, 20 years ago? Back in 2005. Only 2 other people in the world have done that. How did it feel to win this time?
Well, it was really a wonderful feeling and a great honor. I mean, Nigel Richards is such a legend in the game that any time that you beat him, even in a single game, you feel that you've done something a little bit special. And to beat him in a best of 7 match is even more than that.
Yeah, and you've played him, I mean, several times. Many people call him the best player ever. He plays in, what, 3 languages? Do you study his play? Can you study his play? How do you prepare for this?
Well, I don't think so much it's a matter of studying his play specifically, but just trying to master the dictionary as well as you can and practicing finding the correct plays and choosing which of the different plays that you see is correct. But I didn't truly study his game specifically because it's so hard to find any weaknesses in it that I don't know what I would get from it.
So what kind of training do you do?
Well, I study the dictionary that is used using computer. So the computer shows me the letters of a word in alphabetical order, and I have to reply with the actual word. And I also play games against other strong players and analyze them by discussing with those players and with the help of a computer for that as well.
In competition, the rules are a little bit different than, like when I play with my family. I understand there is a time limit. You can use a specific dictionary for reference. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And there are only, obviously, 2 players per game. So in terms of, how much time do you get to put a word down?
You get 25 minutes for the whole game. You can distribute that however you like.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so what advice do you have for somebody like me? I'm a summer Scrabble player. What advice do you dish out?
Well, if you want to play at all seriously, you have to at least agree on some dictionary, whether or not it's the dictionary that's used in tournaments. But really, the way that you get better at most things, I think, is by practicing it, being watched by someone who knows how to do it better than you do, and asking them for their advice. And that works for Scrabble too. But the first step, regardless, has to be to choose a dictionary and to learn some of the basic words, the 2-letter words, which allow you to place your words on the board with the help of what is already there.
What's your favorite 2-letter word?
Well, I think I have to say QI, the Chinese life force.
Right. I think that's one of the only ones that I'm like, yeah, I got that one. What's the biggest word you've ever gotten? Most points?
That was antiques for 275 points many years ago.
275 points. You hit everything. Okay, side note, random question for you. Did I hear that you just got your first cell phone like a week ago?
I just got a new cell phone. I'd had one before.
Oh, you have? Okay. So, but have you ever been on social media?
No, I don't use social media.
You don't do, how come?
No. Because it takes a lot of time and energy that, I feel like I need to be able to get to the bottom of a few things rather than stay on top of a lot of things. And using social media and spending all of my time on my phone, I think would interfere with that.
Do you have fun when you play?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You do. What are you thinking when you're playing?
Well, I try to just concentrate as much as I can on the game, rather than let any thoughts about how nice it would be to win or how terrible if I lost sneak in. I'm just trying to think of what I can do with the tiles that I have, what my opponent is likely to do, and how I should prepare myself for my next turn.
And when you're using this dictionary, so let's say you have a word in mind, what are you using the dictionary for? Are you just cross-checking to make sure it's a word?
Well, so during the game, of course, you're not allowed to consult the dictionary. But between games, when I'm using the dictionary to study, I'll check. I might see something during the game, and I might not be sure whether it's actually in the dictionary. So afterward, I want to check so that if it comes up next time, I'll know what to do.
What is in your opinion, what is the most valuable letter to draw?
Well, the most valuable letter is the one that isn't a letter, namely the blank, which you can use as any letter.
Right.
But failing that, the most valuable letter, because of the rules of English, is the S, because you can add the S to the end of so many words.
Adam Logan, congratulations again, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks very much.
As the global tech race heats up, Canada is trying to keep up, with Ottawa unveiling new funding aimed at keeping homegrown quantum computer developers here in Canada. So we spoke with Minister Evan Solomon yesterday on Your Morning about the Liberals committing to $92 million across 4 companies. And one of those is Xanadu Quantum Technologies, that's based in Toronto. As part of our ongoing series that takes a deep look at how Canadian industries can rely less on the United States, our producer Michael Hiscock took a look at quantum sector and learned just how high the stakes are if we let ourselves fall behind.
Imagine you're doing a whole new paradigm of computing now. Most of the most amazing stuff that actually gets developed or invented using, say, our computers, we don't know what it's going to be yet.
This is Xanadu, a Toronto-based company that developed a quantum computer capable of solving a math problem in 2 minutes that would take the most powerful supercomputers 7 million years to figure out. This computer, called Aurora, aims to build on that success.
And the really cool thing is, see how they're connected there with the yellow cables?
Yeah.
They're now talking to each other. No one's done this kind of networking before.
So this is about the size of a closet. And once upon a time, this is how big computers were. The conventional ones we use today were about this size.
Yes. At least this decade, they won't be the size of our phone. But the end vision for all of us in the industry is to really scale up. The big industries that will be affected will be pharmaceuticals, so drug discovery, material design, quantum chemistry, so like next generation batteries, which is one of Xanadu's key areas we work on, but all the way up to finance and artificial intelligence. One day will be affected and transformed by this new paradigm of computing.
So how does quantum computing actually work? And can it really deliver the advancements so many tech companies promise? Regular computers break information down into a binary code, 1 or 0. With quantum computers, each piece of information exists at the same time. Instead of 1 or 0, it's 1 and 0. That allows for multiple calculations to be made simultaneously. Think about a delivery company that wants to determine the best route from point A to B. A normal computer would process each option individually and then compare the results. Quantum computers can analyze them all almost instantaneously.
What we can now do is control matter at the quantum mechanical level. We can take advantage of those rules and engineer our own impossible things. It's really just harnessing this new understanding of nature and being able to do really exciting and useful things with it.
Michele Mosca is the co-founder of the Institute for Quantum Computing at the University of Waterloo, the earliest dedicated research center for quantum tech in Canada.
We've done a tremendously amazing job at discovering the future in our academic institutions, research labs, even commercializing them. And then we kind of wait and see, and we watch other parts of the world, US, China, and so on, turn them into value-creating technologies, and then we have to import them. The quality of the companies coming out of the Canadian ecosystem are absolutely first-rate. Like, international investors love what we're producing. We just need to be better at investing them ourselves.
Canada is among global leaders in quantum tech. British Columbia-based D-Wave Quantum is considered a pioneer of the industry. But the race is becoming increasingly competitive as new industries in places like India and South Korea emerge. But the stakes of falling behind are greater than you might think.
We don't know what the code-breaking capacity of AI together with quantum is going to be. If good people can use it, bad people can weaponize it. In the history of humanity, we've generally waited for the bad thing to happen and then said, oh, we should maybe do something. Now we're in an age of hyperspeed, hyperscale, hyperconcentration. Like, it may not be a recoverable event. I'm trying to catch up and play whack-a-mole. Like, we're losing in cybersecurity.
This year, Ottawa pledged $334 million as part of Canada's national quantum strategy. Illinois alone invests nearly triple that amount.
When you understand how much is needed to really build out the technology, We're very grateful for support from the Canadian government, but we need more. You'd hear stories about how Canada really grew the talent, but then lost the talent to commercialize. We're in a great position for the Canadian ecosystem. We have some really great companies here, including obviously Xanadu, and we don't want to lose that lead. And so having more government support along with private investment is key for us to really lay claim to sovereign technology that is really the most powerful anywhere in the world, and it's based here in Canada, and in our case in Toronto.
And producer Michael Hiscock joins us now. Mike, first of all, a great look at quantum, not only explaining what it is and how it works, but why we as a country are about to put millions of dollars into it. Before your piece, though, we happened to speak with Canada's AI Minister, Evan Solomon, about this topic. Here's what he had to say. Are we playing catch up here? Are we behind?
The opposite. We're in the lead. I mean, look, there's 11 companies in the United States top program. 4 of them are Canadian. One of them was just bought by an American a couple of years ago. So 3 of them, so 30% of the companies in the world, in the top companies, are Canadian. They're located. One here in Toronto, Xanadu. You're just looking at a picture of it, where we launched it. We've got 2 in Quebec, Nord Quantique and Enion. And we've got one incredible company in Vancouver, Photonic. Those are just the ones that are doing what's called fault-tolerant quantum computing, these giant computers. But quantum also has sensing, and quantum has communication revolution, and Canada's actually in the forefront. So what we're doing here is actually not catching up, we're preserving our leadership, and we're making sure it stays in Canada.
Okay, I'm glad we have you here, Mike, because I want to clarify that. So yes, we may be ahead in terms of research, but we're not ahead in terms of, American companies are buying our research.
It was interesting to me that he hinged our success in the quantum space by how well our companies are faring in a U.S. competition.
Yeah.
And then he kind of casually dropped that line in there about the U.S. just buying one of our biggest quantum companies as well. We are seeing that slow migration play out a little bit. Even Xanadu merged with a U.S. acquisition firm just a couple of months ago. And in 2023, another one of our biggest companies, D-Wave Quantum, relocated its head office to the United States as well. So I wouldn't say that the United States is the #1 leader in quantum technology, but it's pretty clear who is leading who between the two of us.
Mike, your piece really detailed a lot about the stakes in the global quantum race, but I gotta tell you, I spent all day trying to figure out what quantum means for the average person, and I don't understand. So can you break that down for the person listening right now? Why does this matter so much?
It's a fair question. I think the holy grail that all these companies are chasing is what they call a fault-tolerant quantum computer, which is essentially one that can be rolled out to the masses. And once that happens, you'll feel it through the pace of technological advancement around you. So think of the healthcare system churning out treatments and cures for things it couldn't treat or cure before, or us suddenly having new tools to fight climate change. In the meantime, though, what we do have is quantum-enhanced technology, which is something that is very much already here and making a difference. So Samsung, for example, is using quantum technology in its TVs to make the colors appear more vibrant. There are cities using it to make their public transit systems run more efficiently. Here in Canada, we're developing quantum-enhanced batteries that last longer, recharge faster, and withstand cold environments as well.
Okay, so what did industry members that you spoke with tell you about what Canada really needs to do to stay at the front of this race?
Yeah, so late last year, Ottawa launched a competition designed to attract and fund Canadian quantum talent, and the industry certainly sees that as a good step. But that competition doesn't do anything to make itself better than a similar competition the United States launched in 2024. And as I said in the piece, Illinois alone provides more funding to its quantum sector than we do at a federal level, despite the fact that they have about 1/4 of our population. So there's a sense in the industry that we're just reaching for the middle and we're not being ambitious enough to really take a strong leading role in this space, despite the fact that we're churning out this talent in the industry.
Mike, great job on this piece. We all learned a lot. Thanks for doing it, and thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
We're so glad you joined us today.
If you want more of these great conversations, don't forget, download or hit subscribe to Your Morning the Podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
And of course, remember, we got 3 hours of this live on TV every day, weekday mornings on CTV, CTV News Channel, and on Crave. Start your morning with us.